Welcome to ACC Student News.
The news students can use. I'm Damien.
And I'm Kristen. Here are this week's stories. A ceasefire between Israel and Hamas has gone into effect that marks the beginning of the end to the more than 2 years brutal war. Some of the proposal terms include Israel agreeing to release 250 Palestinians serving sentences and 1,700 additional prisoners from the Gaza Strip who were arrested in 2023. They also said that Hamas is expected to release all the hostages, including the remains of 28 who died in captivity. According to the Israel Defense Force, they will continue to deploy in the area and prepare for any additional development.
200 members from multiple units in the Texas National Guard and 300 members from the Illinois National Guard have been activated in Chicago. The troops are stationed at the Army Reserve Center in Elmwood, just outside of Joliet. According to President Trump, he is sending the troops to Chicago as part of a crime-fighting and immigration effect. But Democrats are pushing back, calling it a political-motivated move against his perceived enemies and an overreach of authority. A Pentagon spokesperson said the troops would work to support ICE and other federal personnel, as well as federal property. A judge in Oregon granted a temporary restraining order to block Trump from sending National Guard troops there, as the case is considered in court.
First, police released a statement saying that they had distributed a criminal network suspected of smuggling up to 40,000 stolen mobile phones from the UK. It was the largest state operation, and it's uncovered an international gang that is believed to be responsible for exporting up to 40% of stolen phones in London. A total of 46 people were arrested in the operation. Detective Inspectors Mark Gavin said that the thieves were being paid up to $403 per handset and uncovered evidence that the devices were being sold up to $5,000 in China.
The Federal Aviation Administration is reporting staffing shortages at air traffic control operations as the government shutdown continues. Shortages were reported in 9 facilities from Washington, D.C. to Chicago. The FAA report nearly 21,000 flights have been delayed this week. U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is warning that the government could dismiss air traffic controllers who repeatedly fail to show up during this shutdown, and he is praising the ones that do show up despite not getting paid. The union has repeatedly urged controllers to keep working during this 9-day government shut. 13,000 air traffic controllers and about 50,000 transportation security administration officers must still show up for work during the shutdown, but they are not getting paid.
As the senator is getting ready to conclude for this week, neither side is looking to give in the ongoing shutdown settlement. The $925 billion package is conversely this package, which effectively authorizes funding for the Pentagon and national defense. There will be multiple new officer groups and positions within the Department of Defense, including those focused on cybersecurity, national security, and AI innovation, and oversights hundreds of billions of dollars for union stocking and defense infrastructure. The government shutdown is still waiting on dozens of amendments to its 1,405 54-page bill. Meanwhile, more federal workers are being furloughed and many experience a loss of checks being cut. That's all the news we have for now.
Stay tuned for more news after the break.
Welcome back to ACC Student News.
Here are the rest of the stories. A 53-year-old man was put to death in Indiana, making it the third execution since resuming capital punishment last year. Roy Lee Ward was executed after being convicted of murder and rape of a teenage girl in 2021. He pleaded guilty in 2017 and was declined by the Supreme Court to stop the death penalty. He spent more than 2 decades trying to change the sentence. The Indiana Supreme Court declined to stay the execution, and Governor Mike Brown rejected the bid. According to the Indiana Department of Corrections, Ward's last meal was from Texas Corral and included a hamburger, and his last words were, "Brian is going to read them."
Armed agents from the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Department were removed from the Hammond Police Department. The agents were staging an operation when the city officials informed them that they were not authorized to stage an operation on the city properties. According to the Times, the agents reportedly complied and relocated their operation somewhere else in the city. Mayor Thomas McDermott Jr. stated on the social media that he is deeply concerned that the federal agents would enter and use Hammond property without permission, especially when the federal courthouse is located 1 block west of the police headquarters. The West Chicago Police Department also released a statement that they believe that there was an ICE operation. However, they were not involved.
The Northwest Indiana region is about to get their Pizza Huts back after the abrupt shutdown last year's. Restaurants all over Lake County and Porter County shut down after the franchise group defaulted on its franchise payments by failing to make more than $5.6 million in payments owed. In a lawsuit, it stated that the franchise suffered due to lack of innovation as well as inflation and labor cost. More than 200 workers lost their jobs. The franchise group failed to find a buyer at auctions, but new group is going to be reviving some locations. These locations include restaurants in Maryville, Hammond, and Winfield. Other locations are being redeveloped by different companies and franchises. A 19-year-old boy out of Staten Island was covered in blood as he was taken into custody after he decapitated his mother's boyfriend. It was the younger sister who discovered the chilling and graphic scene in the family bedroom. He had told her he did something bad before telling her to go to her room. The mother of the boy stated her son has a history with mental health issues and multiple domestic violence complaints were filed against the victim over the years. However, the motive is still undetermined. The suspect is currently hospitalized after having a seizure shortly after being taken into custody. That's all we have for this week. I'm Damien.
And I'm Kristen. Make sure to check out the rest of our videos on YouTube and follow our Instagram
At ACC TV Hammond.